Okay. Today is Tuesday. We are going to have 1 hour discussion, Dhamma discussion in English medium. So we have already appointed topic or suggested topic. Before going to that, if anyone is having occasion as to the circumstantial question or statement or any suggestion, we can take time. Otherwise, we are about to go to the traditional topic.
Swami Mahanse, I have a question about the Brahma Viharas.
Yeah.
This is not at least I find that it is not a common topic, or people are not instructed to practice things like metta, karuna, as much as in the West. So why this phenomenon? We are just advised to be mindful. And I do agree that when you are mindful, there's really nothing much else to do. When you're mindful, you're kind. When you're mindful, you're compassionate. When you're mindful, there is equanimity. But I find that in the West, there's so much emphasis on loving kindness, radiate loving kindness, be compassionate, mudita, and all those kinds of things. Why this phenomenon?
This is a complaint to Nissarana. You have selected wrong place. Otherwise, you would have gone to that places. You would have been fully instructed with that. Nissarana also we have this complaint. Why we are not teaching compassion when we are not teaching for Brahma Viharas. So, in USA, they have done mindful school as such. And they found people are introverts. They are not concerned about the others. So therefore, they published an article telling mindfulness have its own weaknesses. That means they are not concerned about the compassionate side. And Part of Mindfulness book is one of the very good books I appreciate. But one day Venerable Bhikkhu Bodhi criticized it. Written by his own teacher, Venerable Jnanaponika. So therefore that article went to Bhikkhu Bodhi. The mindfulness is ignorant about compassion. So Bhikkhu Bodhi sent me the article, but Dhammajiva, this is relevant to you, because you are promoting mindfulness and out of mindfulness. But I have done some criticism, so the paper came. So I was traveling on to this page, and I read it. Why this compassion is not being appreciated, only the wisdom is being appreciated. And I found that is my innate nature. I don't like compassion. I am only the wisdom. I am not a wise person. That is separate issue. I do wrong things. So when I go in there, and there was one sutta called Sati Sampajanya Sutta, and that is what appointed for Brisbane Dhamma talk. So I delivered about 8 to 10 talks. There I found when the people are going with that compassion and kind of thing, they are get entangled with so much of complications. They are avoiding the least frictional path. They are skipping the comfort zone. They are very concerned about the others, compassion about the others, but that bloody fellows are not concerned about their own well-being. One's own here compassion. Therefore, we are in addiction. You are concerned and talking about the others' compassion and others' loving kindness. You are not compassionate to yourself. And there's one book by Pandita Sayadaw, written by Venerable Sujivo, about 4 sublime states. And he says how to look at them from the Vipassana point of view. It's a very good way of looking at Metta Bhavana, Karuna, Mudita, Upekha. And when you are mindful, everything is being achieved, but you don't feel, you can't verify it up till you come up to a very, very advanced stage. So therefore, people are very happy to be mindful, kindful and outside. So very first day of the Ajahn Brahm's retreat, mindfulness in Buddhism, and first day I got a lot of chances within one day. And Ajahn Brahm says not only mindfulness but kindfulness. The whole conference was misguided. This book is more important that not only mindfulness but kindfulness. So people become extrovert, thinking about the other compassion and kind of thing. Ultimately, you are losing your present moment awareness. You are losing your simplicity. That's a cancer. That's an addiction. So as far as you are not doing harmful thing, that's the best thing you can do for others. Sabba papasa akarna. So to forget about only you do pinkama and helping others and all the kind, do it, no harm. But the priority is priority. First thing is first. Take care about your compassion, your well-being, your loving kindness. Then others will happen. It is called just good vibration. As far as you are assured that you are not killing, you are not stealing, you are not sexually misconducting, that's the best compassionate thing you can do. By not doing. Not lying, not slandering, not tale-carrying, not harsh words, is the best you can do. To the others, by not speaking. Today is so much of communication, artificial intelligence, world is ruined. These all bloody fellows, they are not concerned about their physical verbal restraint, but talking about talk about the others' compassion. They are the bloody fellows are creating these calamities in the world. This science, this technology, this God, everything. So therefore your question is quite valid, but you are in the wrong place. Anywhere you go to Sri Lanka, except Nissarana, they will be asked you to do so much of compassionate thing. So when I was there in Panditarama, there was a Stephen, don't know something like that. He came and told that Vipassana, the Nissarana, the Panditarama people are doing only Vipassana. I just wanted to see compassionate thing and the Bodhisattvas thing and kind of thing. I heard Sri Lanka is, a lot of Bodhisattvas are there. What do you say? Then I told, bring a lot of cardboard boxes. I can give enough Bodhisattvas in Sri Lanka. No one is thinking about in this very life. You are also in the same like Pandita Sahib. So I told you, if you are not in Panditarama, go to any other place. All are bloody shit. I don't want to allow you to go beyond the fence. Burma is misrepresented. They are doing this puja, that puja, they call Bua. In Sri Lanka also, puja. But not doing mistakes, if you can take care, the biggest help you can do to the humankind. All these compassionate people, they are the root cause for human suffering. The American multi-billion companies, they are talking about this and that, pharmaceutical industry. They are the real cause of suffering. And they have scholarships. They have this and that, just to keep the people only to gear to themselves. I would say be mindful and mind your business. There's a little incompassionate. But the book has been translated to Sinhala also, in the poetic language. And no one in Nissarana appreciated it. They wanted to do all the pujas and go in this dhyana, and I am also doing. It's a side business, not the main thing. So your complaint is very valid. All the other Buddhist people are thinking about these pujas, these things. I think that, never mind, I also have done 36 years. After ordination, I thought, no, nothing, no means no. Luckily, when the Jnanaram was in our side, we don't allow to go to this kind of compassionate thing, or pujas and all the kind of thing. And I feel comfortable. So therefore, you can still complain. I raise my both the hands. I am very happy about the Nissarana, this thing, but present day generation is violating. Present generation, they don't feel like homely when they are only doing Vipassana. When they are only doing sati, mindfulness. But the laity, they understand. They know. They came from the village. They came from the society. They know what the filthy thing is the society. When they come, they wanted to be here and now. But the monks always thinking about outside, extrovert. Fairly, with compared to other places, we are better. But with the historically, we are ruined. We are becoming more and more extrovert, including me. So I try my best to keep the clutch and the brakes rather than accelerator. Good question. Like the bad answer and bad place.
Avasarai Bante.
Oh.
Bante, this Vimal Disanak is waiting to talk. I will allow him to talk.
Avasarai Bante, actually this one is carried from the Sinhala discussion. Actually, to share my experience and discussion about the Vijnana and Sanskara. Vijnana actually classified the motivation driven, kind of me and not me, or liking or disliking. Sanskara is the colored thing, like me, I'm doing, or some other doing things. To compare this experience with my daily activities, like every day, I monitor the bodily activity, like the eye contact and the hearing and the touch and all these things. But I find most of the time there are two layers. Mind is going one layer. It is not fully attached to what I am seeing. But sometimes it is the coincidence, it is fully engaged. What I am seeing, exactly mind also catches what I am seeing. This is due to the Vijnana sort of thing, me and not me. That is what the clarification I supposed to ask in the Sinhala discussion. Much merit for the opportunity, Bob.
Yeah, it is. We have, how do you call it, in the life, we have extrovert character, we have introvert characters, and sometimes in the Western psychology it says superego, id, and ego. So always they are in a conflict. So at least if you know you have three shades, that's a fairly good mature situation. And they are contradiction, that is what the human being. So never they are got aligned with, they are never get parallel. So therefore everywhere we are talking the communication upset. When we are doing something, frictional upset. When we are thinking, it is for the not for the well-being. Always they are disturbing ourselves. The thinking is always destructive. So when it is happening, we try to show, no, I am a benevolent, what I am doing is everything good, what I am talking is everything is communicated, and my mind and thinking is it's a very good one. But they are filthy. So this contradiction is what you call society. Imagine you are living alone, no society, then you can understand whatever you are expressing is against the grain. And it is not for your well-being. And therefore, more you express, more you get committed. So try, as a trial, not to express, but to see them. That is called obsessional defilement. It has been obsessed your mind, but not expressed, not transgressed, not violated. And even this obsessional thing understood, that is called nivaranas. You see, there are some root causes. That is why these obsessional things are happening. But the obsessional things are an indicator what is in the hardcore, in the anusaya level. Usually with the distracted mind, with the transgressional and the obsessional, can't see. You have to cut off transgressional and try to be with obsessional. And sometimes whenever obsessionals are being suppressed, sometimes you can see underlying tendencies. You can see direct dispositions. And you can't understand this as me or myself. So that is appear like a strange, appear like some completely new thing. Because you are always trying to avoid it. you try to transgress things physically, verbally, and mentally, and then you are cut off from your inner core. So these three shades, kamatanna, bhavatanna, vibhavatanna, for transgressional defilements, obsessional defilements, and underlying tendencies, is the way one has to understand how they are being refined one by one. In Pottapada Sutta, the Buddha says, as far as you are in the transgressional, as far as in the gross body, you are cut off from the material body and subtle body. They are exclusively different. But in the meditation, sometimes you are cut off from the transgressional and go to the rupa, that is breath, or walking, and you get absorbed into that. Then you are completely cut off from the transgressional as well as from the underlying tendencies. Sometimes when the breath also disappeared, when the meditation is become deep and deep, you leave breath also out. You leave walking also out. Everything is gone. Everything is subtle matter. At that time, you can't think and contemplate about the transgressional or obsessional because they are exclusively different. These three shades are within one person. Before the Buddha rising, only the transgressional were there. Some Brahmins and Rishis, they had they cut off sometimes obsessional, but never thought that the underlying tendencies are something related to human. They thought it's God. But the Buddha to be suspected it, and not only he cut off or done away with transgressional and obsessional, he tried his best under the such circumstances, how though these underlying tendencies are working, directed dispositions are working, they are the carried forward balance from the last life or yesterday, and he did it. Then only he declared, I know. So therefore we have to answer the question and compile the question under which circumstance, whether you are in the sexual world or you are in the meditative world of the materiality or meditative world of the subtle matter. Different questions, different answers. So therefore Vijnana and Sankhara working is very violated in the sexual world or sensual world. They are somewhat benumbed in the obsessional level, but still they are functioning. They have their own potential. But in the directed disposition level, subtle level, you have been exposed their mechanism. That is enough. Vijnana can't play as far as they expose. Sankhara can't do anything as far as you know it. So therefore that knowledge is the highest culture of the human mind. That's what the Buddha discovered. But Buddhists, they don't know about that. They are doing this very worried and engaged with the transgressional kind, and worried and carried away by the obsessional. Hardly they can comprehend the subtle or subtlest, we can say, asaya, anusaya or directed disposition. But for the last 30, 40 years, that area also being now came to the discussion because of this frustration and tension. So slowly it is growing. And I am one person caught up into these new trends of thinking about this in this very life, understand the directed dispositions. So it is slowly growing. Some people try to give scientific explanation also, but independently Buddha has explained everything, but unlucky enough Buddhists are not interested in. But they can't deal with the transgression. Some people, even they have done away with the transgression, they are so much of obsessed with the obsessional. So therefore you have to raise the question and answer the question with the clarification of the background. Then only that answer will be lasting. Otherwise it will be just theoretical. So therefore be with that understanding, apply what is relevant to your present setup. You can't make a universal formula. If it is so, you will be completely extrovert. So therefore, understand your background and assimilate the answer and proceed. Even to the Kaluhamtu's question, whether people are with the four sublime meditation or with the Vipassana or Anapana, apply to yourself, but don't try to make universal formulas. Then you utterly get eccentric. You lose your mindfulness, the simplicity, and you will be world-renowned speaker, or you will be world-renowned orator, where you are losing yourself. You are wasting your time, according to the Upanishad science. So be mindful and mind your own business. Okay, now we are going to go to our traditional sutta.
Sorry, sir. Today we have to discuss Sanyutta Nikaya, Palamona Pottahanse, Sagatana Vagya, Adita Vaggo, Adita Sutta. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Adita Sutta. Evam me sutang ekang samayam bhagava savattyang viharati jetavane anatha pindikassa arame. Atako anyatara devata abhikkantaya rappiya abhikkantavanna kevala kappan jetavanang obasitta yena bhagava tenupasankami upasankamitva bhagavantang abhivadetva ekamantang atthasi ekamantang titakosa devata bhagavato santike ima gatayo abhasi. Adittasmin agarasmin yanni harati bhajanam tantassa hoti attaya නොචයං තත්ත දයිහති. මා විසින් මෙසේ අසන ලද්දේ. එක් කලෙක භාග්‍යවතුන් වහන්සේ සවැත් නුවර සමීපයේ වූ ජේතවන නම් අනේපිඬු සිටුහුගේ අරම්හි වැඩවසනසේක. එකල මනා චවිවර්ණ ඇති එක්තරා දිව්‍යෙක් පෑ පෙර යම ඉක්ම ගිය කලෙහි මුළු දෙව්රම බබළුවා භාග්‍යවතුන් වහන්සේ කරා එළඹියේය. එළඹ භාග්‍යවතුන් වහන්සේ වැඳ එකත් පසක සිටියේය. එකත් පසක සිටි ඒ දෙවිතෙමේ භාග්‍යවතුන් වහන්සේ සමීපෙහි මේ ගාථා කීය. ගෙය ගිනිගත් කල ගෙහිමියා යම් භාජනයක් බැහැර කෙරේද එය ඔහුට ප්‍රයෝජනය පිණිස වේ. යමක් එහි දැවේද එය ප්‍රයෝජනය පිණිස නොවේ.
As Swaminathan says, the English translation of this sutta is on fire, ablaze on fire. Thus have I heard on one occasion the Blessed One was dwelling at Savatthi in Jeta's grove, Anathapindika's park. Then when the night had advanced, a certain Devata of stunning beauty, illuminating the entire Jeta's grove, approached the Blessed One. Having approached, he paid homage to the Blessed One, stood to one side, and recited these verses in the presence of the Blessed One. When one's house is ablaze, the vessel taken out is the one that is useful, not the one left burnt inside. So when the world is ablaze with fires of aging and death, one should take out one's wealth by giving. What is given is well salvaged.
Evamadi pito loko jaraya maranena cha nihareteva dhanena bhinnang hoti සුනීහතං. මෙසේ ලෝවැසි තෙමේ ජරායෙන් හා මරණයෙන්ද ඇවිල ගන්නා ලද්දේය. එහෙයින් දානයෙන්ම බැහැර කරන්නේය. දෙන ලද්ද මැනවින් බැහැර කරන ලද්දේ වෙයි. දින්නං සුඛ පලං හෝති නාදින්නං හෝති තන්තතා. චෝරා හරන්ති රාජානෝ අග්ගී දහති නස්සති. දෙන ලද්ද සුවපල ඇත්තේ වේ. නොදෙන ලද්ද එසේ නොවේ. එනුදුන් දෙය සොරු හැරගනිත්. රජු හෝ හැරගනිත්. ගින්න හෝ දවයි. තුබූ තැනම හෝ නැසේ. යලි නොනැසුණු භෝග සහිත ශරීරය මරණයෙන් හැරපියයි. අත අන්තේන ජහාති ශරීරං සපරිග්ගහං.
Etanyaya medhavi bunyeta bunyetacha dhadetacha dattvacha bhuttvacha yatanubhavam anindito sagga mupeti thānanti. නුවණැත්තේ මේ කරුණ දැන අනුභවද කරන්නේය. ධීමද කරන්නේය. ශක්ති පරිද්දෙන්දී අනුභවද කොට අනින්දිත වූයේ ස්වර්ගස්ථානයට පැමිණේ.
What is given yields pleasant fruit, but not what is not given. Thieves take it away, or kings, it gets burnt by fire or is lost. Then in the end, one leaves the body along with one's possessions. Having understood this, the wise person should enjoy himself but also give. Having given and enjoyed as fits his means, blameless he goes to the heavenly state. That's the end of the sutta.
This is some people develop religious life, some people develop sensuous pleasure, and meanwhile robbers are there, kings are there, and all the kind of thing. Throughout you have varietal entertainment. So in Sinhala we have a saying, Kade gandai, dunde suandai. If you eat something, I mean consumerization, you will ultimately end up with shit. It's a very bad smell. But you given it, it is a good smell. If you given something, suandai. Kavot gadai. But some people are very thrifty. They are not eating, they are not giving. And they have no time to spend money. They are earning, but they have no time for pilgrimage. They have no time for picnic. They have no time for hobbies, because if so, business will fall down. So ultimately they became slaves. So they have no time to spend. Ultimately government will take tax. And after the death, everything lost. So therefore the Buddha says even consumption, entertaining is something meaningful. So therefore as a bhikkhu, as a yogi, whatever the given, don't hesitate to use it. Because it is not earned thing, someone given. Use it as you like. Don't try to be thrifty, don't try to be frugal, don't try to be, not the frugality, but the hesitating, telling it is a way of life for the luxury people, we are not so. But something given, no harm. But monks usually, together with the nuns, they are not using it. They think it is not for the it is for the lay people, it is for the luxurious people. So they are using self-mortification type. Buddha was not for that. He says, use it as far as it is earned in the justifiable manner and share it with as much as possible. Sangika. Sangika means it is common for everyone. Don't hide it, but protect it and give it to someone. And that is the way religious life is happening. But at the end result is Devaloka, not the Nibbana. This is a problem raised by the Deva. And if you are living such a spiritual Samaritan life, definitely you will go to the Deva. But Deva come and pay respect to a human, the Buddha. The Buddha is having more knowledge. So this sutta is not for Nibbana. This is just for to better life and better results. And that is why if you think about Western, some companies, they have CSR. Company social responsibility. They are giving others. But they are not doing it for meritorial thing. It is a duty. Of course, they are giving to whatever they like. And ultimately, they don't know they are accumulating merits. But they are not appreciating it because they are not religious. But the Buddha says, appreciate it. Even due to the government law, you are giving, be happy. Be enjoying it. And we are depending, sometimes so far we were not successful for Satipathala and others to get that kind of a CSR from the corporate sector. But so far There were no much of benefits we got it, but we have a hope. Organizations like us must get the funding from that kind of thing. Government can't do it, individuals can't do it because they don't have enough money. CSR is available, but I know we have to stimulate them. We have to catalyze them to do it. Do it for this kind of a meritorious deed. So this is called the worldly affairs or worldly gains. How much it is related to the Nibbana is separate issue. But sometimes the Buddha says the 4 words, Chaga, Patinisagga, Mutti, Analaya. Chaga means gifts. Tyaga. Patinisagga, everything one day I have to give. So therefore these things are to be given. So use it with that. One day I have to give up. Even the body, even the property. But Mutti means you are using it, but not bonded with you. You are using it in the utility value. Not it is not mean, it is my possession and I must use, no one will use it. Kind of no. Mutti. Analeo, don't have the attachment for that kind of thing. Use it and leave it. So same 4 words that is related to the material sharing. And ultimately Nibbana also recognized as these 4 words. Chaga, Patinisaggo, Mutti, Analeo, the highest given up is your giving up of your concepts, your likings and dislikings, your value judgment, your preconceived ideas. You have to use it in the Chaga, Patinisagga, Mutti, Analaya. They think anything I can give up, but my philosophy, my ideas, my likings and dislikings. The Buddha says Nibbana means you are giving up that. That means you are giving up your ego. So therefore Dana and the Nibbana, Dana means materialistic gain, giving up and the giving up of the concepts, exactly the same philosophically, but this is material, but for the Nibbana it is immaterial thing. That's a concept. Very difficult. We are so attached to our own concepts, our own liking and disliking. That's why we develop mental imbalance and the mental sicknesses. Because we are holding them. We can't give up. So therefore one must understand. They are also exemplified manner we can give up material. Likewise, slowly you can give up your likings and dislikings. Your personality traits. For that you must have friends. Friends only know what is your liking and disliking. He can directly tell you. The internal friend is the mindfulness. Mindfulness also can say, when these distractions happen in the meditation, you have hatred. We say that we are sitting in a group, sitting 30-40 people. Each one hate individual things, not the common thing. Some people are hating sounds. Some people are hating pains. Some people are hating thoughts. They are sitting in the same group, same hall. That means we select our hateful thing. That is characteristic. That is the personality, that is the what we bought from the last life. So to understand, you have to tell, but if the person is listening carefully, he can say you are a person always distracted by sounds. The nearby person sitting is not distracted by what you are calling. You all are in the same place. So likewise, that understanding our liking and disliking itself is very important. But giving up them, very difficult because we have inner bondages with them. In that sense, people are usually, including the Buddha, he says it's very difficult to give up likings, but giving up dislikes also, very difficult. That is what creating agony in our lives. That is where we have padutta manasa. Always we live with hate. That hatred, that's what we are is developing, is our inner or intrinsic personality character. Only the close friends and the mindfulness can understand. So, it says we are running the samsara due to tanha, but that is desire. But you can say equally it is true, we are running it because we hate something. We have dislikes. So therefore to understand dislikes, you have to have choices awareness. Liking and disliking in the same manner. Very difficult. Very difficult. You have to be very, very alert. Otherwise you easily will forget about what you dislike. So, but write the interview report and read yourself. Then you can see your dislike. There is a pattern. Always. But if the teacher is skillful, he can point out you, but you will not be happy to accept what the teacher is telling. Because you want teacher to tell what you like. If the teacher is telling what you do not like, you hate the teacher, you still wanted to keep that dislike with you. So that is why teacher has to be very smart. Am I too much?
Thank you for that exposition, Swami Nohan. I've always had the thought that when one takes prabhaja or when one takes upasampada, keep going up in the, for example, from layperson to prabhaja to upasampada, they keep on taking higher precepts, but that is not for the purpose of becoming someone. When you take upasampada, I always believe that you don't take upasampada to become a bhikkhu, you take upasampada to become nobody. And when you become nobody, this is the path that leads to nibbana. This is something I relate to, this giving up things, because when you become a bhikkhu, you don't have much things to give. So there's only one thing, very subtle thing that is left to give up, which is the ego, the concepts.
It is indicated by likings and dislikes. As far as ego is there, it always come out with this is like, this is do not like. So you can hint, you can get the hint, you can get the indication of the egotism by likings and dislikes. So therefore you have to be careful, you have to tell others, if I have that kind of a trait, please let me know. The lay people, the Atasil, Dasasil, Samanera, Upasampada, all are just talking about the 5 precepts, nothing. But the Upasampada, shades of meaning, different shadows of the 5 precepts given. So therefore, if you have taken 5 precepts, it's a gross. When it becomes 8, it is little detail. And 9, 10, Samanera, Upasampada, all nothing but 5 precepts. But treated in a detailed manner. So therefore, before complete breaking, you can do partial breaking. Because you know how the defilement is entering into your mind. Because your guards are not at the palace level, it is in the boundary at the city, our boundary at the country. So border control is there, more in a subtle manner. So some people consider it as a nuisance. Some people consider it as a the pride. It depends. If you are looking at the Upasampada from the in this very life point of view, different. But if you wanted to have Upasampada to get the possession of the temple, this is what happened in Sri Lanka. The temple possession is taken to the higher ordained senior monk. Sometimes the present teacher will give it to the lower person. Then fighting, killing each other. So that is not for in this very life. But with my mindfulness point of view, it's a joke. They are just lay people wearing robes. Rogues behind robes. So therefore, present-day Upasampada, no one knows where do you get the highest Upasampada. But they are coming from 2,600 years lineage, is not so pure. Only you can purify it by mindfulness. As far as you are mindful, whether you are a 5 precept holder, 8, 9, 10, exactly the same plane. So keep your stream of consciousness. This is Vinaya, but in the mindfulness is Dhamma. Buddha says, don't put Vinaya forward. Then Vinaya thing, we can sort it out. But if you mistaken by the Dhamma, no one can help you. So therefore, keep the mindfulness as the precept. Mindfulness as your protector. Mindfulness as everything. And then these things are accommodable. The Vinaya reasons, Vinaya justifications are accommodable, but very difficult to find such a mindful societies. If it is so, you are just being in the mindful society, you are utterly protected. Not only you are to be mindful, just be with mindful. That is the way we give the galvanizing effect, the reinforcement effect of the Vinaya through mindfulness, through vipassana. You are nothing to justify by the second person. You are the bloody fellow to understand whether you are mindful or not. You can't attribute to something. At the beginning, yes. But once you install mindfulness, mind your own business, be mindful.
Just to clarify, Swami Nwanse, my initial question, it was not a complaint. I'm perfectly okay with minding my own business and being mindful. I attended a Dhamma discussion on Zoom last week, and people were talking about this. And so I just thought, just be mindful. And like you said, when you're mindful, you are also protecting others. When you don't steal, you're protecting others from losing their valuables. When you don't kill, you protect others from losing their life. So that question was coming from that discussion I attended last week.
Normally, Dhamma discussion, they are always talking about extrovert things. We never talk about my practice. How do I feel it? How do I incorporate that into? They never take it. So such a discussions are just filling the air time and the video time. So I have listened enough. So therefore, if someone is talking how it affects me and how he's feeling it, I am very careful. And because at least that the person is talking something under his very nose. Others are just talking about theories. They are enough. And there are more happening in the other religion sections. They are utter rogues. But talking about well-being of a humankind and all the kind of things. But that bloody fellows are not giving a good role model. That's why Buddha says you have to follow people, those who are doing what they are talking, what they are doing, talking, what they are doing. These teachers or the friends are worthwhile because you can verify them. Others are quoting the holy scripts. Yes, holy scripts are okay, but are you practicing? No, not in this life. I will try next time. Or I will go to the other country or other places to practice it. So they are their excuses. They are people, neglected people, negligent, not diligent. So therefore these questions are good. And by answers you can understand whether it's a book weevil or a practitioner. During our time, present day, the real practitioners are increasing when compared to 20, 30 years ago. Now people are, little awakened, little aware, because this lying and all the kind of thing done enough mistakes. So just do what you are, talk about what you practice, and otherwise refer to the book. This book is talking like that. So you can refer. I am not the master, I am not the authentic source of the book. book is a common resource, not respecting or not irrespective. But most important thing is how much you related it to your life. That's a long time it takes. Very difficult to detect. But best thing is to detect your own life, rather than thinking about your teacher's life and all the other religious master's life. That is just for the faith. But verifiable faith is only with yourself, and that is also only with the present moment. So I think in that sense we have selected the earlier path without much mistakes.
So as I can see this sutta very highly highlight about the donation. Swaminas explained the Dunde Sondai Kade Gandai, like that single sayings. Actually, it is a concise explanation about the whole sutta. It's like so then lay people can donate what they have earned through with others, and as a monks also we also can share with what we have received, robes or our pinnapata with other monks as well. Swaminatha, then the big thing we can take from the sutta is Dhamma, and
Yeah, dana is the only thing you can understand. That is the material. But dana can be material or immaterial or concept. The monks are becoming, if you are going to give with the dana, you become very, very lonely. You become childish. You have to think about your likings and dislikings. You have to think about your concepts or miccha sankappa. So your sankappa and like and liking indicated by material. Which material you like, which material you don't like. And that can be donated, but still your liking and disliking may be protected. That is very difficult to detect. Not that it is not exposing, we are not ready to accept it. My own liking and dislike. So that is why choicelessly be aware, whatever happening, then how much you contribute to, how much you directed to, how much you push, facilitate something, that is your liking. So you have to do it with liking, you have to do it thinking that one day you have to give up. So therefore, as a monk, you can live the life, but under the CCTV camera. Everything must be recorded. Mindfulness is the CCTV camera. Everything recorded. Once in a way you have to give, how do you call, confession. To confess others. I checked it. I found these things I have liking. These things I do not have. So other person can verify because he is living within the same society with a yes or no. That is the way we purify in the absence of Buddha. I think we are fairly good in that sense because we are criticizing each other vehemently, no harm. You have to do it. That is what we call Brahmacharya.
Yes, and Swami
Avasray Bhante.
Yes. No, we have a statement from here. After that, I will come to Master.
Yes, Bhante.
Yes, like what you said, Bhante, when we are living with our fellow companions here and they are able to verify our own defilements, I find that this happens even just within oneself. Like coming to a monastery like this, there are traditions that we have to follow, some rules and schedules that we have to follow. But then since we are all different characters, sometimes you find yourself being, annoyed or frustrated with how things are going or how other people are conducting things. But then when you apply mindfulness, then you realize, oh, so this is how I react when something goes like this, or this is how I react when somebody acts in a manner like this.
And that just shows us how we are crooked. We are like hooks just catching on to everything. So when we live in a community like this and we see things going not how we want them, then it just shows us how we are own crooked in ourselves.
Pandita Sayadaw has written in his book, In This Very Life, he says he is an academic master. He got Dhammajiva pass very easily. He's a very ardent reader and kind of thing. But he says after education, hardly people go for meditation. They are developing the career by giving talks and becoming a teacher and creating disciples and kind of thing. But he was thinking about that there should have some practice also. Luckily, Mahasi Sayadaw started this program. So he went there after normal application. When they went there, he found the monks don't care about the Vinaya. They are very lowly, practicing, shouting and not sitting in the proper time, not walking. And he says that his mind becomes so agitated. He was not directly under Mahasi Sayadaw, he was under the Sri Sayadaw. And 1 week, he can't sleep. These are the bloody fellows coming and meditating because they don't have even normal rules for the lay people. And I was, even at the temple, I was very obedient to the teacher and dutiful and beautiful. But now, so then Sri Sayadaw gave a comment talk. He told, don't look at others, mind your own business. So went to the room and was sitting and meditating. Because you can't see others because others have never followed the timetable. They are cheating. They are not practicing. So he saw that I am in a very small dinky boat in the deep sea. Fisherman or for a trip. And he can see far away other boats are also there. They are not very close. And they are with the sail. And very fast, storm is developing and coming towards these boats. So he was shouting other people's, please lower down the sails because it will caught up and you will be smashed. And he was yelling others, but looking at his sail also still intact. He says, first and foremost I have to do is, I have to lower down my sail, then only I have to talk. Only 1 week after that he meditated, teacher recognized he got Dhamma. We are always thinking about other people. Monks must be like that, Upasakas must be like that, Upasika must be like that, and we have a yardstick. You fellows are measuring others, but you are not measuring yourself. You are a bloody fool. That is not mindfulness. So therefore, when you are practicing mindfulness, you get that kind of a criticism. You have a self-criticism. You have to tell others. So more than earlier, when I am practicing, I am criticizing myself too much. Sometimes I am criticizing others too much. So it's a kind of a delicate, a kind of a vigilance. Only way is just expressing, exposure. By exposure, other people will second it, or they will disagree. No, that person is very good, but you are looking at from the wrong point of view. That kind of thing can happen in a dialogue, they can verify. But if you are not expressing, ultimately it becomes cancerous. Ultimately you start self-hating or hating the society. It is not affecting your nervous system. But once it comes up to the traumatic level, you start tormenting yourself. The discussion is the way, expressing others, and we are sharing at the lower level. But every society is having this kind of weaknesses, they are not living up to the mark. And that mark is your own mark, your own yardstick. You have to tell others, I measure from this yardstick, from that point of view, this person is correct, this person is wrong. So the society can say, no, you are correct or you are wrong. So we also can see these people. So therefore, this dialogue, the discussion, there was so much of negotiation, understanding and showing whether your value judgment is correct. Your criterion you have selected is correct or wrong. So therefore, while practicing, the discussions are very, very important. Otherwise, you will be only one directed, like a blind elephant. You are hitting each and every tree on the forest. You are an elephant, never mind. But you don't know. But by expressing, you humbly say that is what my observation, whether correct or wrong, it doesn't matter. Let me express myself. So that is how we have to share with others. That's also kind of a generosity, kind of a sharing of the ideas, not the material. So best teacher is that, not teaching, but letting others to share and verify by themselves. So even without the teacher, the show will run. Kumara.
Yes, Bhante. This side, one person has raised her hand. I will, with your permission, I will
Only 2
allow her
minutes
to talk.
available, so we have to go to the Pindapata. We will still giving the chance for that person.
Yes, Bhante. Buddhika, you can talk.
ස්වාමීන් වහන්සේ අවසරයි. This is Buddhika. Swamin Wahansi during the Desana today mentioned, even in the Sinhala Desana, it came across that when you are kind, you are not in the moment. When you are trying to be kind, you are not in the moment. That is something you are trying to be, you are not in that moment. I wanted to ask Swamin Wahanse to explain this little bit. I feel that this comes through practice, to be yourself to the situation, not to show kindness. Sometimes you have to show it, even though it is not there. I mean, with regards to children, you have to show the compassion. It is an act, but you know it is I know it is going to eventually sort it out, but I have to act like I'm compassionate about the situation. But I feel that this come across as sometimes selfish or rude. Not that is why I'm acting like compassionate. Not always, but sometimes when they are disappointed in situations, I know it will eventually work out, but I have to act. Otherwise, they will think I don't bother. This one I wanted to ask Bhante for some explanation, some more explanation, elaboration. Thank you very much, Bhante.
So this needs more observations. Whenever compassionate thought happen, you can't stop at that level. You have to act. You have to either talk and you have to deal physically, so that your ego will be boosted. So action and talking is to boost your ego, show your kindness. But after the creating kindness, you can still like dumbbound. Just observe it like that. Your kindness will never go to the inferiority. But you are not expressed, so egotism will not grow. You know the kindness, but the kindness is only at the heart, not the word, not the deed. So when you are expressing, you are doing not with the mindfulness, you are doing with the emotions. So that thing will be misled.
Yeah.
So you have to just be aware and just, just wait. You can't wait. Mindfulness can teach you to wait, but the kindfulness never. You have to act it. So acting out of emotions, that emotion is not always efficient, not always economical, not always social. That is to boost up your ego. So therefore, kindness is anukampa, is a human kind, that is a natural arising. But you must have a gap in between that arising of kindfulness and the actions, physical and verbal. If you can't have that thought moment gap, you are a slave. You are a beast. You see only one side, you can't see the other side. But seeing kindness and not acting, you can see the whole game. Because one thought moment, thin slicing of time. And that is only possible for cultured human, not the others. Emotional people can't do it. So such emotional people, it's like given a sword to the monkey and king is sleeping. The monkey to take care. The monkey see a fly coming on, lying on the king. He hit the fly. Fly is swinging and king is cut into two. This is the kindness very common in Sri Lanka. So now it's high time up. So thank you very much for the contribution. We are going to sum up today's discussion. We'll ask Kalu Hamaduru from Osada to do the task for us, please.
As I say, for the merits we have gained during this Dhamma talk, we extend them to our teachers, our relatives. May they rejoice in our merits. May all celestial beings protect the Dhamma and the Buddha dispensation for a long time. May the seed of Dhamma we have received to grow, producing path, fruition, and Nibbana. I invite everyone to join in the recitation of the traditional Pali verses for the sharing of merits.